I want to talk about boundaries. I want to talk about boundaries and awareness. Boundaries is a really good first step. However, you want to graduate into awareness. I'm still working on this myself. My name is Rebecca Abraxas. We're here remembering our greatness. We're on the awakening and ascension journey. If you're finding this for the first time, welcome. There's tons of free content here all about ascension, awakening, vocal toning and sound healing, light language, ascension symptoms. It's all here. So creating boundaries, yes, it is super, 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 super helpful and important to have boundaries with toxic people and toxic situations in your life that are toxic for you. What is a boundary? It's basically making a commitment to say, no, you're not allowed in my house, or no, I will only call you once a month, or so that's a boundary. Yes, I will call you once a month. No, you're not allowed in my house. You only can come to my house on Thursdays. You can only do this, this, and that. It's setting it up. It's stating it. It's saying that you won't go past that line. The problem with boundaries is, well, first I want to say congratulations if you've created those boundaries. That's a first step and that's powerful. But if you've created boundaries, sometimes that can limit your life. So the next step, after you create boundaries and you're getting yourself healthy and strong and you're building your capacity to be able to raise your vibration, once you feel like it goes low, you know how to raise it back up. Once you learn all that and you get stronger, then it's important to graduate into awareness. Awareness is going to be more beneficial for your life than boundaries, and here's why. Awareness, if you're willing to have it, will let you know if you can have that person over and that day. Awareness will let you know that, like, well, I want to call them today and not, only on Thursdays or once a month. So awareness will let you know if it's light or heavy, if it's a childhood trauma response, or if it's just this lightness. Okay, so my favorite tool I use all the time is this: is it light or is it heavy? If it's light, it feels like this flow. Everything feels like it's in flow. And if it's heavy, it feels dense. It feels like you're walking through mud. It feels like a, right? It feels not inspired. It doesn't feel like it's flowing. It feels more like upstream. Now, the thing that sometimes can get in the way of our awareness is the thought. Our something thinks, something like you think it's going to feel light. Like your mind starts to play tricks. Like you think it's going to feel light. I'm not interested in thinking it's light. I'm interested in the lightness itself. And there is a very distinct difference. So if you're having an awareness like, oh, it'd be so fun to have a girls' night. Oh, I'm going to invite my mother and it's all going to go well. It'd be so great. I love the thought of us all being together. And that thought feels light. But if you tune into, what's the night going to feel like and sensate like if all these people are together? Just sense the energy and you become aware of it, if it's like, ah, or if it's like, oh, okay? You want to go past the thought of it. And I have been stung by this so many times, guys, I can't even tell you. Like if you like the thought of something. Oh, it'd be so fun if we were all together for the holidays. Oh my gosh, it'd be so fun if someone so-and-so slept over. Oh my gosh, oh my god. Oh my god, what if I called my mother every day and I supported her every day through the pandemic? I'm gonna do that. Like these are all great thoughts, and the thought may light you up. And it's a great thought to have if it lights you up. But before you take action on that, feel the reality of it. Feel the reality of that awareness. Or maybe I should say that. Feel the awareness of that reality. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to call my mother every day during the pandemic and I'm going to support her through this. And then say, what does the energy feel like to call her every day? And it just, you can feel the whole your vibration just go down. That's available to you. So you don't necessarily need boundaries, because the boundaries set up. Okay, say you're going to call your mom once a month, right? You're going to call your mom once a month. But you go to call her and you're like, it feels heavy, but this is my boundary. I'm calling her once a month on this day. So it's kind of like you just stuck yourself. It's like, well, I have to, this is my boundary. I'm going to follow through with my boundary, but you don't feel like it. Like the energy is just dense on that day. So maybe you're like, well, okay, mom. So instead of Wednesday, I'm going to call you on Thursday. Oh, feels heavy. Okay, just not working out. So you just start living with awareness rather than having to set a boundary. And then all of a sudden, it might just feel really light. And one week you call her 5 times in a row, 5 days in a row, because it just has this lightness to it. And it lights up your day. But I think the biggest place I get stuck with is like, I love the thought of something lights me up. You got to go past thoughts. Awareness is underneath the thoughts. Awareness is underneath the emotions. Okay, it's closer to intuition. Okay, it's kind of in between intuition and just spiritual knowing. Okay, it's kind of there. Awareness is that. So boundaries, by all means, are healthy, and every psychologist and psychology person will tell you, set strong boundaries. And then you're safe, okay? You keep yourself safe, but it could also limit you. Okay, the energy of a boundary is like almost like setting a vibrational cap, almost like a consciousness cap. So I would get out of boundary setting as fast as possible. As soon as you feel strong enough and your awareness is, you can count on your awareness, and you start to notice your fluctuations in your frequency, you can notice that. Then turn your boundaries into just awareness. Now, it'll sting you. Stung me this Thanksgiving. It's just like when it starts to get heavy, but then you're in the middle of something, you didn't keep your boundary, and you're kept being aware that this feels light, and oh my God, it's not feeling light. Then you have to be willing to say, I think our time is over now. But that's hard to do in the middle of like a holiday or a birthday or something like that. You opened up your awareness said it was light, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's shifted. You have to be willing to honor that shift. And that's where I got stung recently in a holiday. It started to get heavy. I could see old patterns of talking and complaining and focusing on negative stuff. Because sometimes when you're around certain people, like those are the habits you go into, and that's, oh my gosh, it just started pummeling down, and I didn't catch it. And I was aware that this is pretty intense, lower vibration. What's happening? And then it just started spiraling down from there. So when you are using awareness, you have to be willing to have your awareness every moment. And the moment you feel like it's dropping, you have to take care of yourself. And so this was a huge lesson for me this past holiday we had. That, I've got to up the awareness was there, but I've got to up the commitment to myself once I'm having the awareness that it's lower. And no matter what. And I was really proud of my son because he did this. And he was noticing that even though it was we were just about to sit down and eat dinner, he was just like, I'm leaving the house. I got to go breathe. I got to go leave. And, everyone gave him shit for it. But I have to say I'm pretty proud of him for it because he was aware and he didn't let the structure of the day, the tradition of sitting down together at this certain time, he was like, I'm going to go do this. And it actually started a huge family thing, and I'm not proud of it, but huge lesson that these new people, these new generations are willing to follow their awareness, and they're willing to break out of tradition. They're willing to break out of autopilot. They're willing to break out of family rituals, holidays. They don't care what's happening. They are willing to have their awareness the moment they have it, and they're willing to act on it. And that's what I did not do. I did not act on that, my awareness. And so if you're willing to have your awareness and act on it and take care of yourself, then you actually don't need boundaries. And then if you have one of those times where you know, have your awareness, you didn't act on it, shit hit the fan, then you might have to go back to boundaries again. So you can play with this, right? You can set boundaries when you need them, let them go, and say, I'm going to try this awareness thing, see how it works. And then if, you know, you have an episode and you're just like, oh, okay, this didn't work, let's go back to some boundaries, and then we can let those go, and I'm willing to feel strong again in this awareness and feel committed to my awareness and acting on it. So let me know how you function with this. Does this make sense to you? Does this feel like um, is helpful? And you might ask the question of just like, well, how about you just do boundaries, because if you're gonna have those hard times, just have boundaries with it all. Yeah, you can do that. That's a choice. I've just noticed that life seems fuller and richer, and I can receive more if I'm willing to live from awareness rather than just boundaries that get put on autopilot. You could say that I'm going to have boundaries like this for a month, and then we're going to reassess. And so that's a way to use awareness with boundaries. So I'm going to do this for a month, reassess, see what we're aware of. Oh, okay, we can open these boundaries. So maybe that is a healthy way to do that too. Yeah. So this is a topic I'm working with, and I always bring things that I'm working with to the table on this channel so that you you have some current practical ways of using life as an awakened person on their ascension journey. Like, how do we sustain higher frequencies, boundaries, and awareness? And how do we use them so it's not capping us and limiting us? And so that's why I like shifting out of boundaries into awareness, but maybe using them both. That's a good idea. Let me know your ideas. I'll have a beautiful day, and be sure to check out my website, RebeccaAbraxas.com. I have some new offerings there to really up-level your vibration and happiness quota. So head on over there, and there's a free gift for you too. See you later. Namaste.